have no idea what I'm doing. Hey, good morning. Welcome to yet another episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo. Good morning. Hello, welcome. Yes, hi. Um, I am in a new. I'm in. It's not a new place. It's kind of it's like the same old place. I've just like made modifications. I'm working on a creeper farm here because I recently acquired elytra wings, and so but I have no way of powering them. So great, I have elytra wings. I have no fuel. So it's like, well, got to find a way to get fuel. So I'm making a creeper farm. Now I could have made the old tried and true version, which I've already made before, but I wanted to try something different, which is not really different. It's like the old version that worked in what's it called? Worked in Java, but I don't know if it works for Bedrock. Uh, we're gonna find out, right? This is like a test, so I'm gonna make it, and hopefully it's gonna stop the spiders from spawning, so I can and if not, then I have to tear down this whole thing, which is gonna be a pain because I made it out of deep slate, so it's gonna suck. Um, I only have like a regular a diamond pickaxe. I lost all my stuff. I died in the void, killing the end dragon, so that was no good. But yeah, now I'm here. And check this out. I like this spot here because it gives me like perspective. Like I haven't been up here. This is like a neat place to see. Like I can see Chanti's house from over here. I can see the giant chunks that I've carved out to make the longhouse coming up next. There's like the village breeder way over there by his lonesomes. And then like the Tower of Agriculture. And the funny thing about the Tower of Agriculture is that I can still see the villager working on the top level. So I don't know how, but the chunk is loaded from up here, which means I can put additional agriculture on top, and it will be loaded as I AFK for this. So I want to make a sugarcane farm up there so I can make paper at the same time as I make gunpowder, and that's basically a rocket station. They'll both go to like the longhouse, and then I can go to the longhouse to make all the stuff. Like that's what the longhouse is going to be. It's going to be storage for everything that I'm getting here. But yeah, um, so that's one advancement I have made. Another advancement, as you can see, it's way over there. Oh wait, no sound. Da-da-da. Here, let's see, audio. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. I have made another portal here. And this quick nether portal here goes to this short little hop right here. So now the two bases are connected by another portal. It's really easy to go from one base to the other. So I have an incentive now to create another portal over there, or another hub. Like that's much nicer than what I have going here. God, what else is going on? That's about it. I made a way to go to the mangrove forest. Let me go to sleep real quick. Because yeah, mangrove forests, or the mangrove swamp, was like the new biome. So I finally made a train line to go there. Proper train line. Like, why don't I make actual... What is this? Let me make steps. All right. And I don't have one. Mine cart. And away we go. So yeah, I made this nifty train line to go to the mangrove swamp because the old way was awful. Actually, I didn't have an old way. I, I like, yeah. I started using an old path and then I made a shortcut around it, but then I forgot that I made a shortcut around it, so I lost my path and I had to find it again, which sucked. And then once I found it, then I made rail so I wouldn't have to find it again and I wouldn't lose it again. But now I've got all these rail lines going everywhere, so I'm gonna have to make a train station in the Nether because it's just too many destinations. Too many destinations. Too many places to go. So everyone's gearing up for the holiday weekend. Well, no, it's the holiday weekend now, right? It's Sunday. It's a 3-day weekend. It's July 3rd. It's July 3rd everywhere. Tomorrow it'll be the 4th of July. It's the 4th of July everywhere. But yeah, let's reflect upon what that means. Well, here, let me go check out this place first and then we can reflect later. So yeah, the mangrove swamp. Like, I don't have a base here. I don't have anything here. I mainly came here to steal the mud. Which I did. I stole the mud. And like, if I ever remember, I can get slimes. So I can try to get some frogs and bring frogs back and introduce them to my biome. But yeah, it's a little bit scary here because, well, if I dig too deep, the water floods. And it's dark and scary, and these trees don't go away. Like, it's hard to get rid of them. There's like no easy way of getting rid of this stuff. Can you use shears? What if I do shears on them? I don't think so. Nope. Not really, guy. So yeah, I can go here if I want to like just chill out or whatever, but like, where is here? It's like a big swamp. So it would take me a while to make a base here. And I don't have any incentive to make a base here. Like, if there were a witch hut, I would make a base here, but there's no witch hut. There's no reason to be here. Other than to get mud, which I'm doing. And there's a lot of mud here. So that's good. I just get, that's the purpose for being here, to get mud. So yeah. Yeah, I don't really have any plans for this weekend. I don't have anyone to hang out with. So I'm gonna playing Minecraft. I can probably catch up on a lot of stuff. But that's because, things are weird. Things are weird now. We're currently having hearings about how the former president tried to overthrow the country. And his minions are all over the country trying to weasel themselves into positions of power so that they can enact his coup. I mean, it's out in the open. But it seems like our Justice Department is like paralyzed. It's moving so slow. It's like overwhelmed. It doesn't prioritize getting the powerful people. I don't know. I don't understand. it's pretty obvious to everyone else. I don't understand why the Justice Department hasn't indicted Donald Trump and all his lackeys. I mean, why do we celebrate today? What is the purpose of today? It's to celebrate our independence, our freedom. Well, let's remember like part of the story. That's the thing, right? When I was growing up, I was taught the story of our nation's founding. But as I grew up, I learned that was not the only version of our nation's founding. Other people whose perspectives were equally as valid also had their story that was in a lot of ways contradictory or opposite to what the story I heard. So it created a lot of like cognitive dissonance. Like, how can I hold these two ideas at once? How can I say that America is is a great country that's a land of freedom and opportunity at the same time as knowing that it exists due to slavery and genocide and ongoing oppression? How do I reconcile that? Because I know that if I'm aware of it, other Americans are aware of it, and we are all working toward fulfilling the promise of America, which is truth, justice, and liberty for all. Hey, what's up, Frog? See, check this out. I just need slime balls so I can like breed them. Breed them. I want to breed them. But I have no slime balls, alas. So yeah, that's how I can have these two ideas in my head at the same time. I can know that the United States is great at the same time as I know that the United States is fundamentally flawed. At the same time, I can do that because there's a path of reconciliation. That I can see that includes the American dream for everyone and not just white landowning males. That's how come I can reconcile it. However, there's a group of people out there who want exactly the opposite of what I want. They want a country exclusively for wealthy white males. They just want it for wealthy white males, and that's it. And they're doing everything they can to take over the state. So this is where I differ with my fellow with some of my fellow leftists. Some of my fellow leftists are anarchists. So what they believe is they don't believe in any state control. They don't want hardly any state control whatsoever. And me, I recognize that there are times where the state has to exert some control over the individual. There are times when that has to happen. And I don't know the question of how that control is exerted is another issue. But I do recognize when there are times when people just need to be told what to do. Because as individuals, they don't have the perspective or capacity to understand it. Case in point, the COVID crisis. We're in big trouble with COVID. Because there's an entire media apparatus out there pumping disinformation, and we don't have a way of addressing that. We have no way of addressing it. So that means large swaths of individuals are confused as to the scientific truth of the COVID vaccine. They are ignorant of it, and in fact, they are hostile to the scientific truth. Like, well, great, that's fine if that only hurt you. But the problem is that um, the disease doesn't care like about politics or rights or whatever. It's gonna hurt whoever it hits, and so it's in for the general welfare of everyone involved. There should be a lot of government incentives to use vaccines and to discourage disinformation, the dissemination of disinformation. And I don't know, maybe that starts getting tricky and stuff, but I believe we have to seize control of the state. You can't just abandon the state and say, oh, just give it up and never mind about it. Because if you abandon the state, then the fascists will happily take it over. They will happily grab it and hold on to it and do what they want to do with it. If you don't hold on to the state, someone else will. You can't destroy the state. And you can't ignore the state, because if you ignore it, someone else will take control of it. You have to take control of the state. You, as in us. We. How do you know if we control the state? How do we know if we control the state? The same way we know who controls a gun. How do you know who controls a gun? If that's a good guy or a bad guy? You see where the bullets go. That's how you know if that person holding the gun is a good guy or a bad guy. You look at where the bullets go. I guarantee you, once a full investigation is done of the Uvalde Texas cops, we're going to find out that they shot some of those kids. That's why they're covering it up so hard. They're covering it up so bad that they're not investigating. It's because one of their officers shot some of the kids. What does that make the Uvalde cops? And we can look all up and down. I think they're about to release body cam of another time when cops shot some guy like 90 times while he was running away. How do you know if the person holding a gun is a good guy or a bad guy? You look at where the bullets go. Same thing with the government. How do you know if the government is controlled by us or by someone else? You look at where the policies go. You look at where the laws go. That's how you do it. So if it's controlled by the people, then you expect if a gun is controlled by a good guy, you expect the bullets to be found inside of bad guys. That's what you expect the bullets to be. All right. If the government is controlled by us, we the people, we expect the policies coming out of government to help we the people, to give us, we the people, more freedom and agency, and to help us to thrive. That is the goal. That's how you know when we the people control the government. How do you know when fascists control the government? Because the policies that come out of the government when fascists control it hurt the people. They take away our freedoms. They take away our liberties. They put us under more control. And they don't allow us to thrive. It's the same thing with the gun. The government and the gun isn't a person, it's a thing to be controlled by someone. If you ignore the gun, it doesn't mean the gun's going to go away. It means someone else might come and pick up that gun and a bad guy might control it. If you ignore government, it doesn't mean government goes away. It means someone bad might come along and pick it up and do bad things. We can see the effects right now. A bad person, Republicans, control government, and they set up the Supreme Court so that all their ideas passed. What are their ideas? All their ideas take away freedoms from the people and put them under control of the police. All of them. All the decisions that come out of the or they take away sovereignty from people and they give it to the government. Every single one of them. Every single choice from the government. From the Supreme Court that's controlled by Nazis. By Confederates, by Republicans, by conservatives, whatever you want to call it. By white supremacists. That's how you know who controls the government. You look at where the policies go. That's how you know who controls a gun. You look at where the bullets go. So I understand the distaste for government, but it's kind of necessary, and it does good when it's used correctly. It does amazing good. It's like an Ava unit. Have you ever seen Neon Evangelion? It's the same thing, guys. The government's the same thing. It's just a bunch of memes, laws, tied together, enacted by people. That's it. That's what government is. So you can do, if you can control government, you can do great things. If you don't control government, or someone else controls government, it can do real bad things. Let's go back over here. I like this quick travel. Faster than a minecart. Ta-da! Oh, it's raining. That's gonna take a while because I started using tinted glass, and I ran out of crystals. So I have to wait till the crystals grow back so I can make more tinted glass. I've got like 2 more layers to go around, and each side is 30, so that's like what, 120. I need like 350 more stained tinted glass. So I have to wait for the crystals to grow to make 350 more to finish it. I don't know if it's even gonna work because it's bedrock. So I'm afraid spiders might spawn up there. And because the spider spawn, it's gonna kill the rates, and I might as well just tear this whole thing down and build the old one. But man, that's gonna suck because I don't want to tear things down. It takes forever. Oh well. Such as Minecraft, right? I'll make I'll stream. I'll do a live stream about it and make content out of it. Ha! He's gotta try it. Oh, he didn't give it to me. Nope. All right. Well. Yeah, my idea is to make that, have a water stream to bring it over here and into here, and have water streams bring all that into here and bring the wool into here, and have this be like a giant place, a giant place, and have it on this side, and then have this side be like open-ish, like, and maybe make stuff out there too. I don't know. And then the mountain, yay! And have a train line so I can go up there easily. What else? Yeah, and then finished up. I've been looking up how long houses look like, and I can build one. I have a ton of wood. I can just, I can use the chunk borders to help me align it, so I can make it look nice. Make it look nice. The only question is, how tall do I want to make it? And it's going to be huge, which means I need elytra wings. It's going to be huge. And then, yeah. I mean, the sheep farm works really well. The wolf farm. I need to do something about it. It's working too well. I need to do something. Everything's maxed out. Or almost maxed out. Orange, yellow. All right, so the rates look. Oh, the grade's low. The grades are low. Wonder why. They're like right here, dude. They should just picked up. They're like right in the middle. So it's not like they're like weird or anything. They're at the end, but I mean, it's not like it makes a difference. And black is all right. Well, all right. And then this is going like awesome. Full, getting full, and then that'll get full, and then the rest will be turned into bone meal. Oh no! How'd that get in there? So yeah, okay. What else we got here? All right, let me get some more coffee. I don't have more coffee. So let me make more coffee while I talk to you. Okay, wait, before I do that, let me put up something here. So while I make coffee, you can look at something. Asha Rengappa, I got mad at her because she started blaming progressives for Donald Trump being in office, or for the Supreme Court or whatever. And I'm like, man, we're so like past that. I can't believe you still bring it up. But she brings it up from time to time, and it makes me mad. She just brings it up just to mess with the progressives. To like what? I don't know. I don't understand what her deal is. But she made this really good chart that will help you understand what's going on with the election. So what we got here is Donald Trump is in the middle. And with Donald Trump is his lawyer, Eastman, and his chief of staff, Mark Meadows. And from here, the whole different coup, all the different kinds of coups went out. Remember, you had your states, your Jeannie Thomas, you had like all sorts. Hold on, I'm gonna make coffee. But look at that chart. Look at that chart to get an idea, a visualization of how the coup is being played out. While I make myself more coffee. Because part of the idea of our country, that makes our country so great, and why everyone in the rest of the world started emulating us, was because we came up with the idea that we could govern ourselves, that we are able to choose for ourselves our government, and that our government will be a reflection of the will of the people. And because it's a reflection of the will of the people, it therefore gains legitimacy. And the people will willingly give up some of their power to the government that reflects them and that they had a say in creating. That's why we agree to go along with it. And that's why we're awesome, because we get to have a say in it. We get to choose. We vote in a democracy. And in voting, it doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, how smart or how uneducated you are, how if you're a man or a woman, or who you love, or what you look like, or anything. It doesn't matter. Everyone's vote makes us equal. We are all equal. All people, all humans are equal before the law. That's what the vote symbolizes. Everyone is brought to the same level in front of the law as we choose together, co-create the vision of our government, how we will govern ourselves. But there are people, the very people who we fought against, the very same people that we fought against. It's the same spirit. It's not the same people, but it's the same spirit. The same spirit that we fought against before has risen up again and possessed different people. It has a new vessel. Oh wait, yeah, the coffee is going, so I'm gonna wait for that to go. It has a new vessel. And these people do not believe that the government should look like the people. They do not believe that the people should have any say whatsoever in the government. They believe instead that certain people are better than everyone else. And so they are able to because they are better than everyone else, they're the ones who should have the power and have the control, because they're better than everyone else. They're able to handle the power and have the vision that mere regular common people aren't able to see. So in other words, they want to go back to like a king, a tyrant. Right? So that's what these people are right here. And they made a plan to make that happen. So basically, they're the exact opposite of what Americans about. These guys are the exact opposite. They don't believe the government should look like the people. They don't believe that people should have a say in their government. They believe they're better than everyone else, and that they believe that they're better than everyone else, and that they should be rulers, and everyone should bow down to them. That's what Donald Trump and John Eastman and Mark Meadows say, and all these people in the coup. Because what does this all represent? This all in a totality represents an attempt to take away your vote, to take away your voice, to take away your ability to have any kind of say in your government. That's what this represents. That's why I am so angry at anyone who goes along with this. Because it is literally the exact opposite of the United States. Literally the exact opposite. These people want to take away your vote. Look what they did, right? So Donald Trump with John Eastman and Mark Meadows, they tried so many different ways, right? They tried through Kash Patel and Chris Miller to take over the Department of Defense. And they tried to get the Department of Defense to seize the voting machines. They wanted the Department of Defense to invoke the Insurrection Act so they can invoke martial law. And they wanted the Department of Defense to say that there was foreign election tampering, so that the election is invalid. So that's one aspect they tried to do. Then they tried to do with Jeffrey Clark at the Department of Justice. They tried to install this lackey. He's a nobody, dude. Jeffrey Clark is an environmental lawyer. He has no idea how to run the Department of Justice. No idea. No prosecutorial experience. No nothing. He's an environmental lawyer. But he's loyal to Donald Trump, and he'll do whatever Donald Trump wants him to do. Remember when I told you about the Saturday Night Massacre that Nixon tried to do? He kept firing people until he found a guy who would do whatever he said. It's the same thing at the Department of Justice. Donald Trump wanted to do this coup, and by this point, Billy Barr, who had already helped him a lot trying to cover up his connection to Putin, said, you know what, I'm out of here. You know, I can't do this anymore. I'm gone. So Billy Barr's out. Then they got some other guy in there. Rosin, I forget whose name is, and he's in there, but he wouldn't go along with the coup either. So then Donald Trump tried to get this Jeffrey Clark guy to come in there, who was gonna like send a letter to the states and say that, oh yeah, your electors are fraudulent and we're gonna redo it. That was another attempt at overthrowing the government of Donald Trump and his lackeys trying to take away your vote, your voice. You know this whole thing that we're having for this whole holiday, the whole reason why we have this holiday, Donald Trump tried to take that away from you. All right. Then you had Sidney Powell trying to sue in all these different states, the battleground states, Georgia, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Arizona. They did all these fake, stupid lawsuits of trying to do audits and trying to find election fraud, voter fraud, but they never found anything. But they made a bunch of money and they caused a bunch of headaches. And they used the confusion to burrow in their people into key areas to disrupt the next election. So I mean, like, it's literally a hydra what they made. This is a hydra, right? Do you see what they made? Donald Trump is a hydra. He's a hydra. He attacked the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense. He attacked the individual states through lawyers. He's attacking the Supreme Court of the United States through Jeannie Thomas. And like, remember, the Supreme Court of the United States is only stacked because Donald Trump had a lot of help from the Republican Party. They didn't allow they didn't let Barack Obama fill his soda seat. They stole a seat from Barack Obama. Then they filled a seat with what's her face, Barrett, while an election was going on. During the middle of an election, they filled her seat. I can't believe that crap. I can't believe it. During the middle of an election, they filled her seat. And then the last guy, Kavanaugh's a rapist. He's a rapist. The only way he got off was because Donald Trump literally intervened and stopped the FBI from doing an investigation. That's why we don't know crap about Kavanaugh, because Donald Trump stopped the FBI from doing anything. And by this point, man, it's all covered up. Like, who knows what happened? Shit. So that's another head of the coup, of the Donald Trump hydra, of the Republican hydra, trying to overthrow the government to take away your right to vote, because that's what they're about. They're the opposite of the 4th of July. They're the anti-4th of July. Okay. At the same time, through Steve Bannon and Roger Stone, Donald Trump put forth the big lie of stop the steal. And like, it's a huge fucking lie, right? They have no evidence of it, no proof of it, but they are non-stop putting out that big lie. And no politician who is loyal to Donald Trump will ever admit that it's a big lie. They have to keep up the big lie. They have to keep it up because they have a core audience, and if they ever deviate from the big lie, they're going to lose that audience, and that audience is their vote, their ability to get into power. Remember, for fascists, the truth has nothing to do with it. It's only about power. They worship power. They worship power. All these people worship power. That's their God. Their God is power. They worship power. Okay, and then through Roger Stone, you had the Nazi brown shirts. So you got it for this movement, right? You have each hydra. The last arm is literally the muscle, the meatheads, the soldiers, the Nazi soldiers on the ground who are like literally threatening and intimidating people. They're your foot soldiers. This is your shadow army, because there's no actual connection, no like written thing down where Donald Trump is going to create a shadow army. He doesn't do it like that. He just talks big and he makes a gang, and the gang, wink wink, nudge nudge. Remember his thing, stand back and stand by? Donald Trump knows full well he made a shadow army, and that's who the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys are. They're a bunch of fucking Nazis. Fuck these Nazis. Yeah, they're Nazis. Totally Nazis. So look, and then finally you had the legislative coup at the Capitol. So look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's got to be an 8th head somewhere. But eight Hydra heads. 8 Hydra heads. 8 Hydra heads here trying to take it over. So the last Hydra head here is the assault on the Capitol, where they try to get Mike Pence to overthrow the government and throw out the state electors. And he had a bunch of guys help him. Ted Cruz on the Senate side and Josh Hawley on the House side. They all played their parts to throw out the real electors and try to delay the counting of the electors so that Donald Trump's mob could kill Mike Pence. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. This is what's literally going on right now in our country. This is the hydra that Donald Trump is trying to do, and his company is trying to do. Why? To take away your right to vote. What are we celebrating today? Our freedom to choose our own destiny, our freedom to choose our own destiny. Our vote is our choice to choose our own destiny. Donald Trump is taking that away from us. We need to put Donald Trump on trial. And if the United States finds Donald Trump guilty of treason, the United States must execute Donald Trump. Donald Trump has used the death penalty 13 times when he was president. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If Donald Trump is found guilty of treason, the United States must execute Donald Trump. Oh, execute everybody else too. Everyone who helped him. That's just the law. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Donald Trump killed 13 people. He executed 13 people. I read the story of at least one of them who professed his innocence the entire time. He never said he was ever guilty. He never admitted to being guilty. He went to his death saying he was innocent. Maybe he was. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I'm not perfect. Neither is our justice system. Why are we making a permanent decision when we're an imperfect system? Well, if that's the way it is, that's the way it should be for Donald Trump too. If Donald Trump can execute 13 people for crimes, Donald Trump can be executed for crimes. How many Americans have given their lives to ensure that you have the right to vote? Donald Trump tried to take that away from you. Coffee. Like I need it. Yeah, think about it. I mean, it's looking to me that we're playing this game, but only one side is playing by the rules. If the other side isn't playing by the rules anymore, then what game are we playing? All right, here, check this out. So you have to understand. Where did I get this from? I don't know, but it's a good way of putting it. I don't care how people feel about Democrats, their aesthetic choices, fundraising frequency, etc. They are a vehicle to get the things we need, and if there's no alternative but letting the destruction run unchecked, and there's no alternative but letting the destruction run unchecked. Right now, if you're interested in winning on behalf of the most vulnerable, from those who can get pregnant to those hit hardest by climate chaos, building campaigns to take the Senate and keep the House and keep people motivated and participating is how you do it. And pushing politicians to do better is, yes, a very different thing than disparaging them while not otherwise participating. If you truly can't stand them, focus on non-electoral work like supporting abortion access directly. All this flouncy complaining in the midst of a crisis discourages turnout and participation. It seems to come from identifying as a consumer rather than a participant producer. This Yelp review mindset. I ordered the easy right away, and I got the complicated process, and it did not taste like I expected. It's not a valuable contribution. The perfect remains the enemy of the good. And yeah, making the good better or the not good enough better is a whole different thing than trashing the better option because it's not perfect. That makes it worse. Refusing to understand how the government and laws work is also a kind of sabotage. often a pretense that there is some quick, simple solution that doesn't actually exist, and extricating those who do not take that non-existent option. Republicans famously have a long-term strategy, aka do what they need to get where they want to go. Do what they need to do to get where they want to go. They will be defeated only by others with that strategy. Refusing to participate and discouraging participation because the options are not exactly what you ordered is whatever the opposite of strategy is. Strategy is understanding what you want is where you are headed, not where you start. So I understand the desire to say fuck it and to like burn the whole thing down, but then you burn down your ship. You're on the shores. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to burn down your ship. It's your only ship. It's the thing you're riding in. You don't burn down the thing you're riding in. Unless you have something else to go right away. And you don't. But the Nazis do. So you don't want to burn it down. You want to fix it. You want to fix it. That's part of the redemption. Okay. So, let's look real quick about the January 6th hearings. So by a flock of seagulls. Flock of seagulls. Hey, didn't the flock of seagulls get shot in the couch? All right. A flock of seagulls. Yeah, Flacco. So he's skinny. He's a skinny seagull. All right. Okay. To summarize, the biggest bombshells today. After his speech on January 6th, Trump demanded that he go to the Capitol. When his Secret Service told him it wasn't possible, he tried to grab the steering wheel of the beast and assaulted his Secret Service agent. Now, wait a minute. Now, there were anonymous sources that wanted to dispute this saying, but they wanted to be anonymous and they didn't want to come out on trial. In the meantime, the dude that was there said, "Oh yeah, it was true, and I'll come out and I'll testify on it. I'll say that under oath." Okay, Trump was aware that his supporters were armed, and he tried to get the metal detectors removed that prevented people from getting to his speech with weapons because they weren't there to harm me. With me being Trump, right? So he knew that the people who were there to see his speech were with weapons, but he knew the weapons weren't for Trump. They were for his enemies at the Capitol. Mike Pence. Remember, he wanted to get Mike Pence to do something. And if Mike Pence didn't do it, he wanted his mob to like do something to Mike Pence. Okay. Mark Meadows knew Trump didn't want to stop the rioters and didn't even do anything about it until White House counsel basically forced him to go talk to Trump. So the White House chief of staff, Mark Meadows, totally knew that shit was going down, but didn't want to do anything to stop it. Until the lawyer was like, you gotta do something. That was the only time. When that happened, he's like, fine. Okay, number 4. Trump and White House counsel were talking about the Pence death chance right before Trump sent out the Pence tweet at 2 minutes 24. And Meadows acknowledged to White House counsel that Trump thought Pence deserved to die and agreed with the writers. So do you see what that's saying? That's saying 3 and 4 are connected. Well, here, no. 2, 3, and 4 are connected. Trump knew that his people were armed. His chief of staff knew that things were going bad and didn't try to stop them. And then when Trump finally told Trump that things were going bad, Trump didn't think it was that bad. He's like, oh, if my rioters who are armed get to Pence and kill him, maybe it's not a bad thing. That shows you Donald Trump wanted to kill Mike Pence in order to overthrow the government. The only people able to reach the president were members of Fox News, not his children, not White House staff, not his chief of staff, only Fox News people. Isn't that weird? Shouldn't the president of the United States be available to the government at all times? But here at this moment of crisis, when a mob is about to overthrow the Capitol and kill members of Congress, at that crucial moment, the only people that could reach the president were a media company who were promoting his lies. Because Donald Trump is a traitor. Meadows requested that the language about pardoning the rioters be included in Trump's statement. We all know later that Meadows requested a pardon from Trump. Why would Meadows request a pardon? Because he did something bad. And he knows he did something bad. Several witnesses had people reach out to them in an attempt to intimidate or influence their testimony, deposition, and the committee knows who those people are. So remember, there were text messages. So this woman here gave her testimony, but before she gave her testimony, she got a message. She got a message before she gave her testimony. What was her message that she got? Someone let me know you have your deposition tomorrow. He wants me to let you know that he's thinking about you. He knows you're loyal and you're going to do the right thing when you go in for your deposition. What they said to me is, as long as I continue to be a team player, they know that I'm on the team. I'm doing the right thing. I'm protecting who I need to protect. You know, I'll continue to stay in good graces in Trump world. And they have reminded me a couple times that Trump does read transcripts. And just to keep that in mind as I proceeded through my depositions and interviews with the committees. In other words, Donald Trump is reading what you say about him, and if you say something bad, he'll send his goons to hurt you or your family. Because he's a mobster. So Michael Flynn, under oath, was asked, hey, Mike Flynn, do you believe the cornerstone of the United States, a cornerstone of the United States is that we are able to transfer power peacefully? Like, that hasn't been done before. That's why it was so amazing. Because before the United States, the way you transferred power from one person to another was either through what is almost always bloody. almost always there was a war. Because right, like you have an heir, like you're king, and you have an heir who's supposed to be legitimate, but there's like no law that you like, if that heir were to die, it might go to the next guy. So the next guy has an incentive to kill the heir to get power. So it was a pretty bloody affair. Like, if the kings didn't get assassinated or whatever, I'd see an Enderman. If they didn't get assassinated or whatever, then even when they died, their children might start a war fighting over power. So the good thing about the United States is that we've figured out a way to transfer power back and forth peacefully, without fighting, without war, without bloodshed, because we used reason, and it wasn't through the divine intervention of God. It's because we are humans with the capacity to reason, and we're able to do this thing because we have reason. We don't base it on divine law. It's reasonable. We use reason. But Michael Flynn was not able to commit, was not able to admit to say that. So I'm an American, and I believe fully in the American ideal of peaceful transfer of power. But Mike Flynn, he's a former general. He used to lead the armed forces of the United States, and he worked very closely with Vladimir Putin. He's a traitor. He was not able to say that he agrees with the peaceful transfer of power. Why not? Why can't Michael Flynn agree with the peaceful transfer of power? Because Michael Flynn is guilty of trying to overthrow the government with force. That's why. Because he doesn't believe in the peaceful transfer of power. He doesn't believe that the people should control the government. He believes that the elite should control the government and that he's the elite. He believes he's the king. Okay, there were 3 general camps of administrative campaign officials with regards to how the administration should respond to the insurrection. Camp 1 included those who wanted the president to condemn the violence. Camp 2 were the neutral people, and Camp 3 were the deflect and blame people who wanted to claim it was Antifa or BLM. Meadows was in Camp 3. Meadows was trying to put out the big lie that it wasn't Trump's people that were trying to overthrow the government. It was the enemies of Trump that were trying to overthrow the government. Oh my God. So like, oh, that's where I got it from. Solnit, Rebecca Solnit is the author of that piece about strategy. So yeah, what did Hutchinson say? What did Hutchinson say?
Announce area tent behind the stage. He was very concerned about the shot, meaning the photograph that we would get, because the rally space wasn't full. One of the reasons, which I've previously stated, was because he wanted it to be full and for people to not feel excluded because they'd come far to watch him at the rally. And he felt the mags were at fault for not letting everybody in. But another leading reason, and likely the primary reason, is because he wanted it full and he was angry that we weren't letting people through the mags with weapons, what the Secret Service deems as weapons and our weapons. But when we were in the offstage announce tent, I was part of a conversation. I was in the vicinity of a conversation where I overheard the president say something to the effect of, you know, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing mags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Let the people in. Take the effing mags away. In this particular instance, it wasn't the capacity of our space. It was the mags and the people that didn't want to come through. And that's what Tony had been trying to relay to him that morning. You know, it's not the issues that we encountered on the campaign. We have enough space, sir. They don't want to come in right now. They have weapons that they don't want confiscated by the Secret Service, and they're fine on the mall. They can see you on the mall, and they want to march straight to the Capitol from the mall. When we were in the offstage...
Yeah, so they knew that the dudes were... Trump knew that the rioters were armed, and he wanted it that way. And he knew they weren't there to hurt him. Okay, so that witness was intimidated. So, oh man, I have another part of it, but like I want to talk about abortion next, but I can probably do that in another thing. So, the last thing I want to do then is, all right, so America, we know that we are in the middle of a fascist attempted takeover by the fascist people. The fascists look like your fellow Americans, but they follow Donald Trump, and they don't believe in science or truth. So you can't really talk to them because they no longer believe in truth. If they don't believe in truth, then like, you know, there's nothing there to talk to. No one to talk to. So, but you can't just give up. We can't just roll over and say, oh, well, that's it. Nothing else to do. No, we've got to do something. We got to do something. So let's have a plan, right? Let's not just like roll over and die. Let's have a plan going forward. And I heard this great plan from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This is a plan of what we can do right now. This is what we can do right now. 7 of the 9 justices were appointed by a party that hasn't won the popular vote more than once in 30 years. That means the Supreme Court is by nature anti-democratic. They were appointed by people who were not chosen by the majority of people. So we know that the Supreme Court is like not a reflection of the people. We already know that. It's not a reflection of the people. One of those seats was stolen. Several lied to Congress to secure their appointment. One justice's family, Thomas, was paid by right-wing groups for years, and he never disclosed it, violating federal law. The same justice, his spouse, participated in the January 6th insurrection, and he used his soda seat to vote to keep potential information related to his wife from investigators in Congress. He voted to cover up his wife's involvement in the coup. This court is corrupt. 2 justices stand very credibly accused of sexual assault, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Election or not, the Supreme Court has a legitimacy crisis, and the public reaffirms it. 75% of the U.S. public reports lacking confidence in the Supreme Court of the United States, and those numbers were pre-Roe ruling. In a legitimacy crisis, the solution Biden and Dem leaders must offer can't be just one of voting, but of statute and authority. Compared to executive and legislative branch, checks on the court overreach and misconduct are little to none. Leaders must share their plans for Roe and a rogue court. Past presidents from Lincoln to FDR understood the dangerous stakes of allowing an unchecked court overreach its authority and threaten our democracy. Lincoln ignored the court to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. FDR, in the plunges of the Great Depression, also sought to confront the court structure and core gentiocracy problem of lifetime appointments via public appeal. While he did not succeed, that check came from the people and Congress, not the Supreme Court of the United States. The ruling is Roe, but the crisis is democracy. Leaders must share specific plans for both. The president and Dem leaders can no longer get away with familiar tactics of committees and studies to avoid tackling our crises head-on anymore. We have to restrain judicial review, open clinics on federal lands, court expansion, expand federal access and awareness of pill abortions, etc. For moments when we do insist on elections, we must be precise with what we need and what we will do with that power. How many seats does the party need to codify Roe? Dems must say that, not just go vote or give us $6 to win. That is demoralizing, losing, unfocused nonsense. Dem leaders must tell voters the plan. What's the actual need? What's the specific seats we are focused on? What votes do we need and where? What states and what races? And what's the return? What is Biden Congress actually willing and able to do at 52-60 seats? Be honest. Details motivate. So let's wake up everybody. What's good, Democrats? If you don't like what I've laid out here, then please present your plan instead of little, why can't we do this lists. Let's cut the hand-wringing and get to moving. Chop, chop. No more show tunes till November unless it's for get out the vote. Because Democrats have been like dancing in response to Roe v. Wade. And it's like, what are you doing, guys? Come on, use your powers. Like, Joe Biden could save the Democrats right now by canceling student loans. Like, did I tell you I applied for my federal forgiveness for my student loans because I had 10 years of service, and I've been paying student loans since 2004. And they came back and said, yes, you have indeed been working in public service for 10 years. But those 20 years you've been paying on your student loans, those don't count. We made you refinance your loans, so now you get to start all over again. Aren't you happy? Aren't I happy? All those past payments, they don't count at all. I get to start all over again, and maybe in 10 years I can forgive my loans. So in other words, they played me. They played me. They made me dance around, do a little jig, jump through hoops for nothing. See, that's bullshit. That's bullshit that gets people to hate government. Because I got fucked. I got fucked. I was told if you serve 10 years, you can get your student debt taken out. And they lied to me. So like shit. So now I'm in the boat with all the other people asking Biden, "Hey, why don't you just forgive student loans in general? That will help you win the election in 2022 for sure. And you don't need Congress for that. All you need is your pen. All Biden has to do is sign a piece of paper, and it's done. But remember, Biden is like really, really, really slow thinking. He is the supreme moderate. He is the super moderate. He is super, super moderate. So he won't do anything that the Democratic Party doesn't want to do. So we have to get the Democratic Party on board with forgiving student loans. If you can get the Democratic Party on board with forgiving student loans, then Biden might do it, maybe. But he won't do it by himself. He won't lead. He will not lead. He will only follow. The people have to lead him. Yeah, Biden can't lead. He can only follow. All right. Well, I have this thing on the abortion ruling, but like I can't breathe because it's like dripping down my nose, and like I'll handle it later. Anyways, all right, America. Keep stuff in mind while you're celebrating your independence today. That you have your independence, the ability to vote and shape government because of all the sacrifices of our ancestors. Keep in mind that currently we have to defend these sacrifices from people who would throw us back to the mercies of the kings. They would do it in a heartbeat. So until next time, America, be safe, be aware, and be happy. Yeah. Until next time, peace. Pogokino out. Stop.